Elena Hartwell grabbed Victor Ashford's champagne glass and hurled it across his face. 500 guests gasped. Victor stumbled backward, red wine dripping down his $1,000 shirt. Elena's voice cut through the silence like a blade. You murdered 847 people, and tonight everyone in this room is going to know exactly what kind of monster you are. Security guards rushed toward her. Victor wiped his face and smiled. That smile would haunt her. That smile would fuel her revenge. Because 30 seconds later, Elena was in handcuffs, and Victor Ashford had just made the biggest mistake of his life. Before we continue, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. Comment below with the city you are watching from. I want to see how far Elena's story travels. Now let us witness her fall and rise. The handcuffs clicked shut around Elena's wrists. She did not struggle. She kept her eyes locked on Victor. You planned this, Elena said. You knew I was going to expose you tonight. Victor stepped closer. His voice dropped to a whisper. You should have taken the money, Elena. $3 million to walk away. But you had to play hero. Those people died because of you. Victor shrugged. People die every day. It is called business. Diana Ashford pushed through the crowd. Her diamond earrings swung as she pointed at Elena. Officers check her purse. She has been acting erratic all night. I think she is on something. Elena's stomach dropped. No, do not touch my purse. I did not bring anything. An officer grabbed her clutch from the table. He opened it. His eyebrows shot up. Ma'am, care to explain this? He held up a small bag of white powder. Elena's knees buckled. That is not mine. Someone put that there. She looked at Diana. You put that there. When you hugged me earlier, you planted it. Diana pressed a hand to her chest. How dare you accuse me? I have been nothing but supportive of you. The crowd murmured. Elena heard fragments. Always knew something was off. Drugs explain a lot. Poor Diana having to deal with this. Victor raised his hand to silence the room. Everyone, please. This is a difficult moment for all of us. Elena has been a valued member of our team for 15 years. It pains me to see her spiral like this. I am not spiraling. Elena's voice cracked. He is lying. They are both lying. 3 weeks ago, I found documents proving that Ashford Industries covered up fatal side effects in their heart medication. 847 people died. Victor ordered the cover-up personally. The room went silent. A few people exchanged glances. Elena saw doubt flickering in their eyes. Victor laughed softly. Elena, sweetheart, you need help. These paranoid delusions, the drug use, the erratic behavior. It all makes sense now. I have proof, Elena shouted. I sent copies to my personal email. Bank transfers, internal memos, death certificates, everything. Victor's smile faltered. Just for a second. Elena caught it. Diana stepped forward quickly. Officers, please remove her. She is clearly having a psychotic episode. We do not want anyone to get hurt. The officers grabbed Elena's arms. She planted her feet. Look at his face, Elena screamed at the crowd. Look at how scared he is. Why would an innocent man be scared of a crazy woman's accusations? Several guests turned to look at Victor. He recovered quickly, arranging his features into an expression of sad concern. But Elena had seen the crack. She had seen the fear. Get her out of here. Victor snapped. His voice was harder now, less theatrical. The officers dragged Elena toward the exit. She twisted around for one last look at the ballroom. I will prove it, she shouted. I will prove everything. And when I do, every single person in this room will know they stood there and watched an innocent woman be destroyed. The doors slammed shut behind her. The police station smelled like burnt coffee and desperation. Elena sat in an interrogation room, her wrists raw from the handcuffs. A detective named Morrison sat across from her, flipping through a folder. So, let me get this straight, Morrison said. You're claiming that Victor Ashford, one of the most respected businessmen in New York, framed you for embezzlement and drug possession because you discovered he is secretly a mass murderer. When you say it like that, it sounds crazy. Elena leaned forward. But yes, that is exactly what happened. Morrison tapped the folder. We have bank records showing transfers from Ashford Industries accounts to an offshore account in your name. We have security footage of you accessing the financial servers after hours. We have testimony from 3 coworkers who say you have been acting paranoid and aggressive for weeks. All fabricated, Elena said. The video is deep-faked. The bank account was set up without my knowledge, and those coworkers are on Victor's payroll. Morrison sighed. Ms. Hartwell, do you have any evidence to support your claims? Elena hesitated. I sent documents to my personal email. Financial records, internal memos, proof of the cover-up. Morrison slid a paper across the table. We subpoenaed your email accounts. All of them. There is nothing there. Elena's blood ran cold. That is impossible. I sent them 3 days ago. Multiple attachments. I saw the confirmation. Morrison shook his head. Our tech team checked. Your inbox is empty except for spam and work correspondence. No documents, no memos, nothing. Elena gripped the edge of the table. He deleted them. Victor has people everywhere. He got into my email and deleted everything. Of course he did. Morrison's voice was flat. Is there anyone who can corroborate your story? Anyone who saw these documents? Elena opened her mouth, then closed it. She had worked alone. She had trusted no one. She had been so careful, so paranoid about leaks that she had kept everything to herself. No, she whispered. I was the only one who knew. Morrison stood up. Ms. Hartwell, you are going to be held overnight. The DA will decide whether to press charges in the morning. Please. Elena's voice broke. You have to believe me. I am telling the truth. Morrison paused at the door. In my experience, everyone in this room is telling the truth. He left. Elena sat alone in the cold room. For the first time since the gala tears slid down her cheeks. She had been so confident, so sure that the evidence would protect her. And now it was gone. All of it. Victor had thought of everything. 72 hours later, Elena walked out of the police station a free woman. No charges filed, insufficient evidence. But freedom meant nothing when you had already been destroyed. Her lawyer, Patricia, met her at the entrance. Before you see it, I want to prepare you. See what Patricia handed her a phone. The screen showed a news article. The headline read, Disgraced CFO Elena Hartwell released without charges. Ashford Industries announces internal investigation. Elena scrolled down. The article painted her as a mentally unstable drug addict who had cracked under pressure. It quoted anonymous sources describing her erratic behavior. It featured a statement from Victor expressing deep concern for her well-being. They are destroying me even after the charges were dropped. Patricia's face was grim. It gets worse. Keep scrolling. Elena scrolled. Her heart stopped. A video. Diana Ashford, tears streaming down her perfect face, addressing a crowd of reporters. She stole from sick children. Diana sobbed. The charity foundation I built with my own hands. She used it as her personal piggy bank. How could she do this to innocent children? Elena wanted to throw the phone across the street. I never touched the charity money. That is another lie. I know. Patricia lowered her voice. But Elena, there is something else. My firm received a call this morning. We have been instructed to drop your case. Elena stared at her. Instructed by who, I do not know. The message came from a senior partner. He would not say who contacted him. Patricia's eyes were wet. I am so sorry. I believe you. But I cannot lose my job. I have a daughter. Elena touched Patricia's arm. I understand. Thank you for everything you have done. What will you do? Elena looked up at the sky. It was gray and heavy with rain. I do not know yet, but I will figure something out. She walked away from the police station. No lawyer, no money, no reputation, no plan, just rage. Her apartment building came into view. Elena stopped walking. The word thief was spray-painted across her front door in red letters. Her windows were smashed. Garbage was piled on her doorstep. Someone had taped printed photos of her mugshot to the walls. Elena climbed the stairs to her unit. The door was hanging off its hinges. She stepped inside and felt her legs give out. Everything was destroyed. Her furniture was overturned and slashed. Her clothes were cut into ribbons. Her photographs were torn and scattered. Her laptop was smashed into pieces. On the wall above her bed, someone had written, "Leave or die." Elena sank to the floor. Her hands shook. Her breath came in short gasps. The tears she had been holding back finally broke free. She screamed. She screamed until her throat was raw. She screamed until she had nothing left. Then her phone rang. She pulled it from her pocket with trembling hands. The screen showed an unknown number. She answered anyway. "Hello, Elena," a man's voice, unfamiliar. "Did you enjoy redecorating? Who is this, a friend or an enemy? That depends entirely on you." The voice was calm, almost friendly. "You have 24 hours to leave New York. If you are still here after that, what happened to your apartment will happen to you." Elena's fear transformed into something else, something harder. "Tell Victor I am not going anywhere." The man laughed. "Victor did not send me. Victor thinks you are already broken. But some of us are not so sure. Some of us want to make certain you understand the consequences of staying." "I understand perfectly." Elena stood up. Her legs were steady now. "I understand that Victor Ashford killed 847 people and you are helping him cover it up. I understand that you are all going to prison. And I understand that threatening me was the stupidest thing you could have done." Silence on the other end. "Because now I know you are scared," Elena continued. "You would not be calling if you were confident. You would not be threatening me if you thought I was powerless, which means I am not as alone as you want me to believe. You are making a mistake." "No." Elena looked at the destruction around her. She looked at the threat painted on her wall. "Victor made a mistake. He should have killed me when he had the chance. Now it is too late." She hung up. Her phone buzzed immediately. A text from the same number. A photo of her walking into the police station 3 days ago. A red circle drawn around her head. Elena saved the photo. Evidence. She spent the next hour searching through the wreckage of her apartment. Most of her possessions were destroyed, but she found a few things that had survived. Her passport hidden in a fake electrical outlet she had installed herself. $10,000 in cash tucked inside a hollowed-out book. And James's watch. Her late husband's vintage Omega. Worth at least $50,000. The only thing she had left of him. Elena held the watch against her chest. James had died 4 years ago. Cancer. He had been the love of her life. After he passed, she had thrown herself into work. She had climbed the corporate ladder at Ashford Industries because she had nothing else. Now she had even less. Her phone rang again. This time the screen showed a name she recognized. Michael. Her boyfriend of 3 years. "Michael." Elena answered quickly. "Thank God. I need help. My apartment was broken into and—" "We need to talk." His voice was cold. Elena's stomach tightened. "Michael, whatever you saw on the news is not true. I was framed. Victor Ashford set me up because— I spoke to Victor this morning." Elena went silent. "He called me personally." Michael continued. "He told me everything. The drugs, the theft, the paranoid delusions. He said he tried to help you, but you refused treatment. And you believed him." Elena could barely breathe. "Michael, you know me. We have been together for 3 years. Apparently, I did not know you as well as I thought. I am not a thief. I am not a drug addict. Victor is a murderer and he— See, this is exactly what Victor was talking about." Michael sighed. "The conspiracy theories, the paranoia." "Elena, I cannot do this. My firm does business with Ashford Industries. My reputation—" "Your reputation." Elena laughed bitterly. "I am fighting for my life, and you are worried about your reputation. I am sorry, Elena, but this is over. Do not contact me again." The line went dead. Elena stared at her phone. The screen went dark. She saw her own reflection. Hollow eyes, messy hair, a woman who had lost everything. She thought about what Michael had said. Victor called him personally. Victor was going through her life systematically destroying every relationship, every connection, every support system she had. He was isolating her, making her alone, making her vulnerable. It was working. Elena walked to the window. The city stretched out before her. Somewhere out there, Victor Ashford was celebrating his victory. Diana was planning her next charity gala. Michael was probably already calling his friends to gossip about his crazy ex-girlfriend. They all thought she was finished. Elena picked up a piece of broken glass from the floor. She looked at her reflection in the shard. The woman staring back at her was a stranger. Defeated. Broken. Empty. No. Elena dropped the glass. She wiped her tears. She straightened her spine. No. She would not give them what they wanted. She would not disappear. She would not break. If Victor Ashford wanted her destroyed, he would have to do it himself, because she was done running, done crying, done being a victim. She pulled out her phone and scrolled through her contacts. One name caught her eye. James Chen, investigative journalist. They had been friends in college. They had lost touch over the years, but she had heard rumors that he was investigating corporate corruption. Her finger hovered over the call button. This was dangerous. If Victor found out she was working with a journalist, he would escalate. The threats would become real. The next attack might not stop at property damage. But what was the alternative? Run, hide. Let Victor get away with murder. Elena pressed call. The phone rang 3 times. Then a familiar voice answered. Hello, James. It is Elena Hartwell. We went to Columbia together. I do not know if you remember me. Elena James sounded surprised. Of course I remember you. I saw the news. Are you okay? No. Elena's voice was steady now. I am not okay. I need help. I have information about Ashford Industries, the kind of information that could bring down Victor Ashford permanently. Silence, then. What kind of information? He covered up the deaths of 847 people, a failed drug trial, fatal side effects that he buried to protect his profits. I found the evidence. That is why he framed me. Jesus, James exhaled. Elena, I have been investigating Ashford for 3 years. I knew something was wrong, but I could never find proof. I have proof. Or I did. He deleted it from my email, but there might be other copies, other witnesses, other ways to reconstruct what I found. Where are you right now? My apartment, or what is left of it. Someone broke in and destroyed everything. Are you safe? Elena looked at the thread on her wall. Probably not. I am coming to get you, James said. Pack whatever you can carry. Do not tell anyone where you are going. And Elena. Yes. If what you are saying is true, Victor Ashford is not going to stop until you are silenced permanently. You understand that, right? Elena picked up James's watch. The watch that had belonged to her dead husband. The only thing she had left. I understand, she said. That is why I am not going to give him the chance. Stay where you are. I will be there in 30 minutes. James hung up. Elena looked around her destroyed apartment one last time. Then she started packing. 25 minutes later, a car pulled up outside her building. Elena walked out with a single backpack containing everything she owned in the world. James stepped out of the driver's seat. He looked older than she remembered. Gray at the temples, lines around his eyes, but his expression was sharp and focused. Get in, he said. We need to move. Elena climbed into the passenger seat. James pulled away from the curb before she even closed the door. Where are we going, safe house? James checked his mirrors. A friend's cabin upstate. No connection to either of us. We can regroup there. James, I need to tell you something. Elena gripped her backpack. I might have copies of the evidence. Before everything happened, I forwarded some documents to a secondary email account, one that nobody knows about. James glanced at her. If that is true, why did not you mention it to the police? I forgot about it until just now. Elena admitted. It is an old account. I set it up years ago for exactly this kind of situation. A backup. Insurance. Can you access it? I need a secure computer. My laptop was destroyed. James reached into the back seat and handed her a laptop. It is encrypted. Use it. Elena opened the laptop with shaking hands. She typed in the address of her backup email. She entered her password. The inbox loaded. 3 unread messages, all from herself, all containing attachments. They are still here. Elena breathed. James, they are still here. Do not open them yet, James said. Wait until we get to the cabin. I want to make copies before we look at anything. If Victor's people find out you still have evidence, they will come after us hard. Elena nodded. She closed the laptop and held it against her chest like a lifeline, because that was exactly what it was. Outside the car windows, the city faded into countryside. Elena watched the buildings disappear. She thought about everything she had lost. Her career, her reputation, her home, her relationship, her sense of safety. But she still had the truth. And now she had an ally. Victor Ashford thought he had won. He thought she was broken and alone and harmless. He was about to find out how wrong he was. Elena looked at James. Thank you for believing me. James kept his eyes on the road. Do not thank me yet. We have not even started. And Elena, I need you to understand something. But James finally looked at her. His eyes were deadly serious. If we do this, there is no going back. Victor Ashford has unlimited money, unlimited power, and unlimited willingness to destroy anyone who threatens him. He has connections in the police, the courts, the media. He has already proven he will frame you, threaten you, and destroy your life. If we push forward with this investigation, he will do worse. Much worse. Elena thought about the threat painted on her wall. She thought about the photo with the red circle around her head. She thought about the 847 people who had trusted Ashford Industries and died because of that trust. Victor Ashford took everything from me, Elena said. My career, my reputation, my home, my relationship, my sense of safety. He destroyed my entire life in one night because I tried to do the right thing. I know, but here is what he did not take. Elena's voice hardened. He did not take my memory of those 847 names. He did not take my knowledge of what he did. And he did not take my ability to make him pay for it. So you are in? All the way. Elena looked out the window. The sun was setting. The sky was streaked with red and orange. Victor Ashford tried to destroy me, she said. He failed. Now I am going to destroy him. And when I am done, he is going to remember the moment he decided to make me his enemy as the biggest mistake of his life. James nodded slowly. Then let us get to work. The car drove deeper into the countryside. Behind them, the city lights faded into darkness. Somewhere back in Manhattan, Victor Ashford was sleeping peacefully in his penthouse, confident that he had eliminated the threat. He had no idea that Elena Hartwell was not eliminated. She was just getting started. And in her backpack on an encrypted laptop, 3 emails sat waiting. 3 emails that would bring down an empire. The cabin was dark when they arrived. James cut the engine and sat in silence for a moment. Elena, before we go inside, I need to tell you something about Victor Ashford. Elena turned to look at him. What? 3 years ago, I was close. James gripped the steering wheel. I had a source inside Ashford Industries, a woman named Sophia Reyes. She was Victor's personal assistant. She saw everything. She was ready to talk. What happened? James's jaw tightened. She disappeared. One day she was returning my calls, the next day her phone was disconnected. Her apartment was empty. No forwarding address. No trace. You think Victor killed her? I do not know. James finally looked at Elena. But I think whatever you have in those emails might tell us what happened to her. And if Sophia is still alive, she might be the key to everything. Elena nodded slowly. Then let us find out. They went inside. James set up his equipment while Elena connected to his secure network. Her hands trembled as she opened the laptop. The 3 emails stared back at her. 3 lifelines. 3 chances to bring down Victor Ashford. She clicked the first one. A spreadsheet filled the screen. Rows and rows of data. Patient names, dosage information, dates. And in the final column, a single word repeated over and over. Deceased, deceased, deceased. James leaned over her shoulder. His breath caught. This is the clinical trial data for cardioxin, Elena explained. Victor's miracle heart drug. The trial showed 92% effectiveness. What they did not show was that 43% of participants died within 6 months. 43%, James pulled up a chair. That is not a side effect. That is a death sentence. Elena scrolled down. The names kept going. Page after page. 847 people who trusted Ashford Industries with their lives. I found discrepancies during a routine audit, Elena said. The numbers did not add up. So I dug deeper. I found the original research files buried in a backup server. Someone had changed the data before it went to the FDA. Elena opened the second email. This one contained internal memos. She scrolled until she found what she was looking for. Project Nightshade, she said. That is what they called the cover-up. Look at this memo, James read aloud. All Nightshade-related communications must route through VA personally. No digital records, no exceptions. All affected families will receive standard compensation in exchange for binding NDAs. Anyone who refuses will be handled through alternative channels. Alternative channels, James repeated. That sounds like a threat. It gets worse. Elena opened the third email. This one was different. It was not a document. It was a video file. She pressed play. The screen showed Victor Ashford sitting behind his desk. He was on the phone. His voice was calm, almost bored. I do not care how you do it, Victor said into the phone. Just make sure she signs the NDA. Her husband is dead. She has 3 kids and no income. Offer her $200,000. If she refuses, remind her that medical malpractice lawsuits are expensive and she cannot afford one. A pause. Victor laughed. Good. And Marcus makes sure the research team understands what happens to people who talk. Sophia is starting to ask questions. Keep an eye on her. The video ended. James sat back. His face was pale. That is Victor ordering the cover-up, Elena said. That is him threatening a widow. And that is him mentioning Sophia by name. She is alive, James said. Or she was when this video was recorded. When is it dated? Elena checked the file properties. 3 weeks before I was arrested. James was already on his laptop. I'm going to find her. If Sophia is still out there, she has been hiding from Victor for 3 years. She knows things that could fill in the gaps. What gaps? James pulled up a series of documents. I have been building a case against Ashford for 3 years. Financial irregularities, suspicious deaths, whistleblowers who vanished. But I never had the smoking gun. I never had direct evidence linking Victor to the crimes. Now you do. Now we do, James corrected. But evidence is only half the battle. We need witnesses. We need people who will testify. We need to build a case so airtight that Victor cannot buy or threaten his way out of it. Elena nodded. Where do we start? James handed her a folder. I have been tracking former Ashford employees who left under suspicious circumstances. 17 names, all connected to Cardioxin or Project Nightshade, all paid off with generous severance packages. Elena flipped through the pages. You think some of them will talk? Most of them signed NDAs. But NDAs do not cover criminal activity. If we can convince even one of them that Victor is going down, they might flip. And if they do not, then we keep digging until we find someone who will. James looked at her. Elena, I need you to understand something. This is going to take time. Weeks. Maybe months. Victor is not going to sit still while we build our case. He is going to come after us. Let him come. Elena closed the folder. I have nothing left to lose. James studied her for a moment. Then he nodded. All right. Get some sleep. Tomorrow we start hunting. Elena did not sleep that night. She sat at the window and watched the darkness outside. Somewhere out there, Victor Ashford was living his perfect life. Attending galas, making deals, smiling for cameras. He had no idea what was coming. Elena looked at James's watch on her wrist. James, I am going to destroy him, she whispered. I promise you. I am going to make him pay for everything. She finally closed her eyes around 4 a.m. When she woke up, the sun was streaming through the windows and James was gone. A note on the table said, following a lead on Sophia. Back by noon. Do not leave the cabin. Elena made coffee and started reviewing the files. She read every memo, she studied every name, she memorized every detail of Victor's operation. By the time James returned, she had compiled a timeline of Project Nightshade from start to finish. You have been busy. James dropped a bag on the table. He looked exhausted, but his eyes were bright. Did you find her? James pulled out a photograph. It showed a woman in her 30s with dark hair and sharp features. She was walking out of a grocery store looking over her shoulder. Sophia Reyes, James said. She is alive, living in a small town in upstate New York under a fake name. She works at a diner, pays cash for everything. No digital footprint. Elena stared at the photo. She is hiding. She is terrified. James sat down. I talked to some people who know her. She does not trust anyone. She barely leaves her apartment except for work. She thinks Victor has people watching her. Can we approach her? I already did. James hesitated. She refused to talk to me. She said if I came back, she would call the police. Elena's heart sank. So she will not help us. She will not help me. James looked at Elena. But you are different. You are a victim just like her. You lost everything because of Victor. She might listen to you. Elena thought about it. The risk, the danger, the possibility that Sophia might panic and expose them. I will do it, Elena said. Tell me where to find her. James shook his head. Elena, if Victor's people are watching Sophia, they could spot you. You are not exactly anonymous right now. Your face has been all over the news. Then I will change my face. Elena touched her hair. I used to be blonde in college. I can cut my hair, wear different clothes. Nobody is looking for a brunette with short hair. It is dangerous. Everything about this is dangerous. Elena stood up. James, we need Sophia. You said it yourself. She is the key. I have to try. James was quiet for a long moment. Then he reached into his bag and pulled out a small case. I was hoping you would say that. He opened the case. Inside were hair dye scissors, a new phone, a new ID, and a stack of cash. Elena looked at him. You planned this. I planned for every possibility. James handed her the case. Your new name is Sarah Mitchell. You are a freelance writer researching a story on corporate fraud. You heard about Sophia through a mutual contact, and you want to hear her side of the story. And if she does not believe me, then you tell her the truth. James met her eyes. You tell her that Victor Ashford destroyed your life just like he destroyed hers. You tell her that you have evidence that could put him in prison forever. And you tell her that the only way to stop him is if the people he hurt stand together. Elena nodded. She picked up the scissors and walked to the bathroom. 2 hours later, she did not recognize herself. Her long dark hair was cropped short and dyed a honey blonde. She wore plain clothes and minimal makeup. She looked like a completely different person. James looked up when she emerged. He blinked. Wow, he said. That is convincing. Good. Elena picked up the car keys. Where is she? The town was 3 hours away. Elena drove in silence, rehearsing what she would say. The diner where Sophia worked was called Rosie's. It was a small place on the main street, the kind of establishment where everyone knew everyone. Elena parked down the block and watched through the window. She spotted Sophia immediately. The woman from James's photograph. Older now, thinner, but unmistakably her. Sophia moved between tables with practiced efficiency. She smiled at customers, but her eyes never stopped scanning the room. Alert, paranoid, waiting for something bad to happen. Elena understood that feeling. She got out of the car and walked into the diner. A bell chimed over the door. Sophia's head snapped up. Her eyes locked onto Elena for half a second before moving on. Elena sat at the counter. Sophia approached with a menu. What can I get you? Her voice was flat, professional. Just coffee, please, Elena said. Actually, can I ask you something? Sophia tensed. We have a full menu if you are hungry. I am not here to eat. Elena lowered her voice. I am here because Victor Ashford destroyed my life, and I think he did the same thing to you. Sophia's face went white. She took a step back. I do not know what you are talking about, Sophia said. Her voice was barely above a whisper. You need to leave. My name is Elena Hartwell. Elena pushed forward. 2 weeks ago, I was the CFO of Ashford Industries. I found evidence of Project Nightshade. The cover-up, the deaths. Victor framed me for embezzlement and drug possession. He destroyed my career. He threatened my life. Sound familiar? Sophia's hands were shaking. She set down the coffee pot before she dropped it. I cannot help you, Sophia said. Please leave. They are watching. They are always watching. Who is watching? Sophia grabbed Elena's arm and pulled her toward the back of the diner. Her grip was surprisingly strong. Are you insane? Sophia hissed. Coming here using my name talking about Nightshade? Do you have any idea what they will do to us? I know exactly what they will do, Elena said. They already did it to me. My apartment was ransacked. I have been threatened. I have nothing left. But I have evidence, Sophia. I have the video of Victor ordering the cover-up. I have the clinical trial data. I have everything we need to put him in prison. Sophia stared at her. Evidence, real evidence. Elena pulled out her phone and showed Sophia a screenshot of the video. This was on Victor's personal server. He did not know anyone had access. Sophia looked at the image. Her face crumpled. I know that day, Sophia whispered. I was in the room when he made that call. I heard everything. He was talking to Marcus Webb about silencing the families. Then you can testify. Sophia shook her head violently. I cannot. You do not understand. Victor has people everywhere. Cops, lawyers, judges. He has eyes in every agency, every department. The moment I step forward, I am dead. You are already dead, Elena said. Look at yourself, Sophia. You have been hiding for 3 years. You work at a diner under a fake name. You have no friends, no family, no life. That is not living. That is just waiting to die. Sophia flinched like Elena had slapped her. I know because I was ready to do the same thing, Elena continued. After Victor destroyed me, I wanted to run. I wanted to disappear and never come back. But then I realized something. Running means Victor wins. Running means those 847 people died for nothing. Running means every person Victor hurts after us is our fault because we could have stopped him and we did not. Tears were streaming down Sophia's face now. You do not understand. I have been so scared for so long. Every time I hear a car outside my window, I think this is it. This is when they come for me. Elena took Sophia's hands in hers. Then stop waiting. Stop hiding. Help me fight. Because I promise you, Sophia, if we work together, Victor Ashford will never hurt anyone again. Sophia was silent for a long moment. Her whole body trembled. Then she looked up at Elena with something new in her eyes. Something that looked almost like hope. I kept copies, Sophia whispered. Everything Victor made me shred. Every document he told me to destroy. I kept copies of all of it. Elena's heart stopped. What Sophia pulled her toward a storage room at the back of the diner. She closed the door behind them. When I started working for Victor, I thought he was a great man, Sophia said. He was charming, generous, everyone loved him. But then I started seeing things, hearing things, memos about patients dying, emails about silencing witnesses. I realized who he really was. So you made copies. Sophia nodded. At first it was just insurance, protection in case he tried to turn on me. But then it became something else, a record of every terrible thing he did. I have 3 years of documentation, Elena. Board meetings, private conversations, financial records, everything. Elena grabbed Sophia's shoulders. Where are the copies? Sophia hesitated. Then she reached into her shirt and pulled out a key on a chain around her neck. A storage unit in Albany, she said. Everything is there. Boxes of documents, hard drives, recordings. Enough evidence to put Victor away for the rest of his life. Elena could barely breathe. Sophia, do you understand what you have? This is not just about Project Nightshade. This is everything. Every crime Victor has ever committed. That is why I have been so scared. Sophia's voice cracked. If he knew what I had, he would not just kill me. He would kill everyone I have ever known. Elena squeezed her hands. Listen to me, I have a journalist. His name is James Chen. He has been investigating Victor for 3 years. He has resources, contacts, ways to protect us. If we combine what I have with what you have, we can build a case that no amount of money can bury. Sophia looked at her. Really, really? Elena met her eyes. But I need you to trust me. I need you to come with me. I need you to stop hiding and start fighting. Sophia was quiet. The seconds stretched into eternity. Then she pulled the chain over her head and pressed the key into Elena's palm. Okay, Sophia said. Let us burn him down. They left the diner through the back door. Elena called James on her new phone. I found her, Elena said. And James, you are not going to believe what she has. Tell me. Elena looked at Sophia. 3 years of documentation. Everything Victor has ever done. It is in a storage unit in Albany. Silence. Then James laughed. A genuine disbelieving laugh. Elena, do you know what this means? It means we have him. Elena felt something she had not felt in weeks. Hope. Real, genuine hope. Victor Ashford is finished. He just does not know it yet. Get to Albany, James said. I will meet you there. Do not stop for anything. Elena and Sophia drove through the night. They did not talk much. There was not much to say. 2 women who had lost everything to the same monster. 2 women who were about to become his worst nightmare. They reached Albany just as the sun was coming up. The storage facility was on the outskirts of town, a gray building surrounded by a chain-link fence. Sophia led Elena to a unit in the back corner. Her hands shook as she inserted the key. The door rolled up. Elena stepped inside and stopped breathing. The unit was full. Floor to ceiling, boxes labeled by date and subject. Hard drives stacked on shelves, folders organized with meticulous care. 3 years of Victor Ashford's crimes preserved and waiting. My God, Elena whispered. Sophia, this is incredible. I did not know what else to do. Sophia stood in the doorway. I could not destroy it. I could not turn it over. So I just kept collecting, waiting for someone who could actually use it. Elena turned to her. You might have just saved a lot of lives. A car pulled up outside. Elena tensed. But it was James. He jogged toward them, his face flushed with excitement. Then he saw the storage unit. He stood there, mouth open, unable to speak. James Chen meets Sophia Reyes. Elena gestured between them. Sophia, meet the journalist who is going to help us destroy Victor Ashford. James stepped into the unit like he was entering a church. He picked up a folder at random and opened it. He flipped through the pages. This is minutes from a board meeting about suppressing a safety recall. He grabbed another folder. This is financial records showing bribes to FDA officials. He looked at Sophia with something like awe. You documented everything. Sophia shrugged. I am very organized. James laughed. It was a wild, almost hysterical sound. We have him, he said. We actually have him. Victor Ashford is going to prison. Elena felt tears burning in her eyes, but she did not let them fall. Not yet. This is not over, she said. We have the evidence. Now we need a plan. Victor has resources we cannot imagine. The moment he realizes we are coming for him, he will use every weapon he has to stop us. James nodded, sobering quickly. She is right. We need to be strategic. We need to release this information in a way that Victor cannot suppress. How James pulled out his laptop. We build the story piece by piece. We leak just enough to get public attention. We make sure the evidence is distributed so widely that Victor cannot possibly contain it. And then when the moment is right, we drop everything at once. A coordinated strike, Elena said. Exactly. James started photographing documents. We hid his business, we hid his reputation, we hid his family, we hid everything he cares about all at the same time. What about the families, Elena asked? The 847 people who died. They deserve to know the truth. They will, James promised. But first we need to build our case. We need to be absolutely certain that when we go public, Victor cannot wriggle out of it. Sophia spoke up. There is something else you should know. Elena and James both turned to look at her. Victor has a partner, Sophia said. Someone who helped him set up Project Nightshade. Someone who is still working inside the company. Who Marcus Webb. Sophia's voice hardened. The chief operations officer. He is the one who handled the dirty work. The bribes, the threats, the disappearances. He is just as guilty as Victor. Elena remembered the video. Victor on the phone with Marcus discussing how to silence the families. Can we get to him? Elena asked. Maybe flip him against Victor? Sophia shook her head. Marcus is loyal. He has been with Victor for 20 years. He would never betray him. Everyone has a breaking point, James said. We just need to find his. The three of them worked through the morning cataloging evidence and building their strategy. By noon, they had the beginnings of a plan. Elena stood by the window watching the street. Her mind was racing. 1 month ago, she had been a successful executive with a promising future. Now she was a fugitive hiding in a storage unit plotting revenge against one of the most powerful men in America. Strange how quickly life could change. James appeared beside her. You okay? Elena nodded. Just thinking. About what? About what I am going to say to Victor when this is over. Elena turned to face him. When he is sitting in a courtroom watching his empire crumble. When he finally understands that the woman he tried to destroy is the one who destroyed him. James studied her face. You have changed. Elena smiled. It was not a pleasant smile. Victor changed me. He just did not realize he was creating his own worst enemy. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Elena hesitated, then answered. Ms. Hartwell. A man's voice. Smooth, confident. We need to talk. Elena's blood ran cold. Who is this? I think you know who this is, the voice said. I hear you have been busy. Making new friends, digging up old files. Very industrious. Victor. A soft laugh. You sound surprised. Did you really think you could hide from me? I have eyes everywhere, Elena. I know where you are. I know who you are with. I know what you have. Elena gripped the phone tighter. Then you know that your empire is about to collapse. My empire has survived worse than you. Victor's voice hardened. But I am a reasonable man. I am willing to make you an offer. I do not want your money. Who said anything about money? Victor paused. I am offering you your life, Elena. Walk away now. Destroy everything you have collected. Disappear. Do that and I will call off my people. You can start fresh somewhere far away. Elena looked at Sophia, who was watching her with wide eyes. She looked at James, who had stopped working and was listening intently. And if I refuse, then I will destroy everyone you care about. Victor's voice was ice cold. The journalist, the waitress, anyone who has ever helped you. I will ruin them first. Then I will ruin you. And this time I will not be merciful. Elena felt fear coiling in her stomach. Real primal fear. Victor was not bluffing. He had the power to do everything he threatened. But she also felt something else. Something stronger than fear. Rage. You should have killed me when you had the chance, Victor, Elena said. Because I am not afraid of you anymore. You took everything from me. My career, my reputation, my home, my relationship. You destroyed my entire life because I tried to tell the truth about the people you murdered. Elena. But you made a mistake. Elena's voice rose. You let me live. And now I am going to spend every single day of the rest of my life making sure you pay for what you did. I am going to expose every crime you ever committed. I am going to destroy everything you built. And when you are sitting in a prison cell with nothing and no one, I am going to visit you. And I am going to remind you that you did this to yourself. Silence on the other end. Then Victor spoke. His voice was different now, colder, more dangerous. You want a war, Elena? You have one, but remember you started this. Whatever happens next is on your head. The line went dead. Elena lowered the phone. Her hand was shaking. James and Sophia stared at her. He knows, Sophia whispered. He knows everything. Elena took a deep breath. Then she straightened her spine. Good, she said. Let him come. We are ready. James nodded slowly. Then we accelerate the timeline. No more waiting. We start the attack now. Elena looked at the storage unit full of evidence. She looked at her new allies. She thought about Victor Ashford sitting in his penthouse thinking he still had control. He was wrong. The war had begun, and Elena Hartwell was done playing defense. It was time to destroy an empire. Elena hung up the phone and turned to face James and Sophia. Her heart was pounding, but her hands were steady. He threatened everyone, Elena said. He knows where we are. He knows what we have. Sophia's face went pale. We need to run. If Victor knows... No, Elena cut her off. Running is exactly what he wants. He is trying to scare us into making mistakes. James was already packing equipment. She is right. Victor called because he is scared. If he was confident, he would have just sent people to take us out. The fact that he tried to negotiate means he is worried. So, what do we do? Sophia asked. We do exactly what we planned. Elena grabbed a folder from the nearest box. We hit him first. Hard. Before he has time to react. James nodded. I have a contact at the SEC. A woman named Patricia Vance. She has been trying to build a case against Ashford Industries for years, but she never had enough evidence. Now she does. Elena flipped through the folder. These financial records show Marcus Webb funneling $40 million through shell companies. That is enough to get him arrested. If Marcus goes down, he might flip on Victor. James pulled out his phone. I am calling Patricia now. Wait. Sophia grabbed his arm. If we go to the SEC, Victor will know immediately. He has people inside every agency. Not Patricia, James said. She is clean. I have known her for 10 years. She hates Victor almost as much as we do. Why, James hesitated. Her brother was in the Cardioxin trial. He died 3 years ago. Patricia has been waiting for a chance to make Victor pay. Elena felt a chill run down her spine. How many lives had Victor destroyed? How many families had he torn apart? Call her, Elena said. Tell her we have everything she needs. James stepped outside to make the call. Elena turned to Sophia. I need you to think carefully, Elena said. Is there anything in these files that connects Victor directly to Marcus's embezzlement? Sophia nodded slowly. There is a recording. Victor and Marcus discussing the shell companies. Victor approved every transaction personally. Where is it? Sophia walked to a box in the corner and pulled out a small hard drive. Everything is on here. Audio files. Video files. 3 years of meetings that Victor thought were private. Elena took the hard drive. It felt heavier than it should. This tiny device contained enough evidence to destroy a billion-dollar empire. James came back inside. Patricia is in. She is mobilizing her team now. She wants the financial records sent to a secure server within the hour. Then we send them. Elena handed him the folder. But we do not stop there. I want to hit Marcus from multiple angles. Financial crimes, tax evasion, money laundering, everything we have. What about Victor? Victor comes later. Elena's voice hardened. First, we take away his right hand. We isolate him. We make him paranoid. And then when he is weak and alone, we destroy him completely. James smiled grimly. You are thinking like a strategist. I am thinking like someone who has nothing left to lose. They spent the next 2 hours organizing and transmitting documents. Elena worked with a focus she had never felt before. Every file she sent was another nail in Victor's coffin. Every piece of evidence was another step toward justice. By midnight, the SEC had everything they needed. Patricia called James directly. This is extraordinary. Her voice crackled through the speakerphone. We have enough to arrest Marcus Webb tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, Elena leaned forward. That fast? The evidence is overwhelming, Patricia said. Wire fraud, tax evasion, money laundering. Marcus Webb is going to spend the rest of his life in prison. What about Victor? Patricia hesitated. We are building that case separately. But Elena, I need to warn you. The moment we arrest Marcus, Victor is going to know someone is coming for him. He will burn every document. He will destroy every piece of evidence he can reach. Let him try, Elena said. We have copies of everything, and we are just getting started. The next morning, Elena watched the news from a motel room 30 miles from Albany. James and Sophia sat beside her, barely breathing. The anchor's voice filled the room. Breaking news this hour. Marcus Webb, Chief Operations Officer of Ashford Industries, has been arrested by federal agents on charges of wire fraud, tax evasion, and money laundering. Sources say the arrest is connected to an ongoing investigation into financial irregularities at the pharmaceutical giant. The screen showed Marcus being led out of his office in handcuffs. His face was twisted with shock. Clearly, he had not seen this coming. Elena felt a savage satisfaction. One down. Sophia grabbed her arm. Look at his face. He is terrified. He should be, James said. Federal prison is not kind to white-collar criminals. The news anchor continued. Ashford Industries has released a statement expressing shock and disappointment at the allegations against Mr. Webb. CEO Victor Ashford says the company is cooperating fully with authorities and has zero tolerance for illegal activity. Elena laughed bitterly. Zero tolerance? He is throwing Marcus under the bus. Of course he is. James leaned back. Victor will sacrifice anyone to protect himself. Elena's phone buzzed. Unknown number again. She answered. Clever. Victor's voice was cold, very clever. But Marcus was always expendable. He was your friend for 20 years. He was an employee, Victor corrected. A useful one, but replaceable. Did you really think taking him down would hurt me? Elena kept her voice steady. Marcus is just the beginning. Silence. Then Victor spoke again. You are making this personal, Elena. That is a mistake. You made it personal when you destroyed my life. I gave you a chance to walk away. Now that option is gone. Victor's voice dropped. Whatever happens next is on you. The line went dead. Sophia stared at Elena. What did he say? He is scared. Elena set down the phone. He is pretending he does not care, but I heard it in his voice. He did not expect us to move this fast. James nodded. We need to keep the pressure on. What is our next target? Elena thought for a moment. Diana. Victor's wife. She is the one who planted the drugs in my purse. She is the one who orchestrated my public humiliation. And according to Sophia's files, she has been embezzling from her own charity foundation. Sophia pulled out another folder. The Ashford Children's Foundation. Diana has been siphoning money for years. Private jets, designer clothes, and payments to a young artist named David Chen. Who is David Chen? Sophia handed Elena a photograph. Diana's lover. She has been paying him $200,000 a year from the charity fund. Victor does not know. Elena studied the photo. The man was young, handsome, exactly the type to appeal to a bored socialite. This destroys her reputation and her marriage, Elena said. Victor will be humiliated. More importantly, it splits them, James added. A couple under siege is dangerous. A couple at war with each other makes mistakes. How do we leak it? Elena asked. James smiled. I have a contact at a gossip magazine. They have been dying to run a story on Diana for years. They just needed proof. Give it to them. Elena handed him the folder. Everything. The affair, the embezzlement. Make sure the world knows exactly what kind of person Diana Ashford really is. The story broke 2 days later. Elena watched Diana's face on the television as reporters surrounded her outside a restaurant. Mrs. Ashford, is it true you have been having an affair? Diana, did you steal money from sick children? What does your husband think about David Chen? Diana's perfect facade cracked. She pushed through the crowd, her eyes wild with panic. No comment. No comment. Get away from me. Elena felt nothing. No sympathy. No guilt. Diana had stood in that ballroom and laughed while Elena's life was destroyed. Now it was her turn to suffer. James came into the room. Victor is making moves. He called an emergency board meeting this morning. Word is, he is trying to contain the damage. Let him try. Elena stood up. What else do we have? James handed her a tablet. Stock prices. Ashford Industries dropped 18% since Marcus was arrested. Another 12% after the Diana story broke. Elena scrolled through the numbers. 30% in 4 days. Not bad. It gets better. James pointed at the screen. Institutional investors are pulling out. 2 major banks have frozen their credit lines. The board is in full panic mode. Sophia spoke up from the corner. I know someone who can make it worse. Elena turned to look at her. Who Victor's daughter from his first marriage. Her name is Catherine. She was written out of the will 10 years ago when Victor remarried Diana. Why, Sophia's expression darkened. Catherine found out about some of Victor's early crimes. She threatened to go public. Victor had her committed to a psychiatric facility for 6 months. When she got out, she was too scared to speak. But she never stopped hating him. Can we reach her? Sophia nodded. I know where she lives. And I know she has been waiting for a chance to destroy her father. Elena felt something shift in her chest. Victor's own daughter. The man had no limits. He would sacrifice anyone, even his own blood, to protect his empire. Set up a meeting, Elena said. I want to talk to her. Catherine Ashford lived in a small apartment in Queens. Elena found her sitting by the window, staring at the street below. She was thin and pale, with the haunted look of someone who had seen too much. Ms. Hartwell. Catherine did not turn around. I know who you are. I watched the news when they arrested you. Then you know what your father did to me. Catherine laughed softly. My father has done worse to better people. Elena sat down across from her. I'm going to destroy him. I have evidence of every crime he has ever committed, but I need your help. Why would I help you? Catherine finally looked at her. You do not know what he is capable of. You do not know what he did to me. I know he had you committed, Elena said gently. I know he tried to silence you. I know he wrote you out of his will and replaced you with a woman who steals from children. Catherine's jaw tightened. Diana is a monster, but she is nothing compared to my father. Then help me stop him. Elena leaned forward. I have financial records. I have witness testimony. I have video evidence of him ordering cover-ups. But what I do not have is someone from inside the family. Someone who can speak to who Victor really is. And if I help you, Catherine's voice was barely a whisper. What happens to me, we protect you, Elena said. We keep you safe until Victor is behind bars. And then you get to watch the man who destroyed your life lose everything. Catherine was silent for a long moment. Then she reached into a drawer and pulled out a small book. A diary. I started writing this when I was 16. Catherine handed it to Elena. Every lie he told. Every person he hurt. Every crime I witnessed. I never stopped documenting. Elena opened the diary. The pages were filled with neat handwriting. Dates, names, details. Decades of Victor Ashford's secrets. Catherine, this is incredible. It is my insurance policy. Catherine stood up. I always knew someday someone would come. Someone brave enough to take him on. I just had to wait. Elena tucked the diary into her bag. Will you testify? Catherine hesitated. Fear flickered across her face. Then she straightened her spine. Yes, Catherine said. I will testify. I will tell the world what kind of monster my father really is. Elena stood and took Catherine's hands. Thank you. Do not thank me yet. Catherine's eyes were hard. My father does not lose gracefully. When he realizes what is happening, he will come after all of us, and he will not stop until we are destroyed. Elena squeezed her hands. Then we destroy him first. The next week was a blur of activity. James published a series of articles exposing Ashford Industries' financial irregularities. Sophia provided documentation for every claim. Catherine gave interviews to 3 major news networks describing her father's abuse and corruption. Victor's empire was crumbling. Elena watched from the shadows as the dominoes fell. Stock prices plummeted. Board members resigned. Investors fled. The company that Victor had built over 40 years was coming apart at the seams. But Victor was not finished. Elena found out too late. Sophia called her on a Tuesday afternoon. Her voice was shaking. James is gone. Elena's blood went cold. What do you mean gone? He went to meet a source this morning. He never came back. His phone is off. His apartment is empty. Victor, Elena whispered. It has to be. Sophia was crying now. What do we do? Elena gripped the phone so hard her knuckles turned white. We find him. She spent the next 12 hours calling every contact she had. No one knew anything. James had simply vanished. Then her phone rang. Unknown number. Elena. Victor's voice was smug. Missing someone. Where is he? Elena demanded. What did you do to him? James Chen is my guest, Victor said calmly. He is comfortable. For now, if you hurt him. Hurt him, Victor laughed. Elena, I am not a monster. I am a businessman. And this is just business. What do you want? I want you to stop. Victor's voice hardened. Delete everything you have. Call off the investigation. Disappear forever. Do that and James goes free. Elena closed her eyes. Her heart was racing. James had risked everything to help her. He had believed in her when no one else would. And now Victor had him. How do I know he is alive? A rustling sound. Then James's voice, weak but recognizable. Elena, do not do it. Do not give him anything. James. Elena felt tears streaming down her face. I am going to get you out of there. I promise. Victor came back on the line. You have 24 hours. After that, James Chen becomes another unfortunate accident. The line went dead. Elena sat in the darkness, her mind racing. She could not give up. Not after everything they had accomplished. Not when they were so close. But she could not let James die either. Sophia appeared in the doorway. What did he say? He has James. Elena's voice was hollow. He wants me to stop, to delete everything. You cannot do that, Sophia said. If you stop now, Victor wins. He goes free. All those people who died. I know. Elena cut her off. I know. But James. Sophia sat down beside her. Elena, look at me. James knew the risks. He chose to help you anyway. If you surrender now, his sacrifice means nothing. So what do I do? Elena looked at her with desperate eyes. Let him die. Sophia took Elena's hands. We find another way. We rescue James and we destroy Victor. We do both. How Sophia's expression hardened. Victor thinks he has all the power, but he made a mistake. He underestimated how much we know about him. What do you mean I know where Victor keeps his prisoners? Sophia said. I know about a property upstate, a warehouse he uses for things he does not want traced. If James is anywhere, he is there. Elena felt hope flickering in her chest. Can we get to him? Not alone. Sophia pulled out her phone. But I know some people. People who owe me favors. People who hate Victor almost as much as we do. Who former employees, Sophia said. Security guards, drivers. People Victor discarded when they stopped being useful. They have been waiting for a chance to hurt him. Elena nodded slowly. Make the calls. Get everyone you can. What are you going to do? Elena stood up. Her fear was gone, replaced by cold determination. I am going to end this, Elena said. Victor wanted a war. Now he is going to get one. 8 hours later, Elena stood outside a warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Sophia was beside her. Behind them were 6 men and women, former Ashford employees with grudges to settle. You are sure this is the place? Elena whispered. Positive. Sophia checked her watch. 2 guards inside, rotating shifts every 4 hours, and James' basement level. Sophia pointed at a side door. There is an access point through the loading dock. Elena nodded. She looked at the team assembled behind her, people with everything to lose and nothing to gain except the satisfaction of hurting Victor Ashford. Everyone knows the plan, Elena asked. They nodded. Then let us go get our friend. They moved quickly and quietly. The first guard never saw them coming. The second put up a fight but was quickly subdued. Elena raced down the stairs to the basement. Her heart was pounding so loud she could barely hear anything else. She found James in a small room at the end of the hall. He was tied to a chair, his face bruised and swollen. But he was alive. Elena. James looked up. His voice was raw. You should not have come. Shut up. Elena cut his bonds with a knife. I was not going to let you die. Victor has cameras everywhere. James struggled to his feet. He knows you are here. Then we need to move fast. Elena wrapped his arm around her shoulders. Can you walk? I can run if I have to. They made it back to the loading dock. Sophia was waiting with a van. Get in, Sophia shouted. We have company. Elena looked back. 3 black SUVs were pulling into the parking lot. Victor's people. Go. Elena pushed James into the van. Go now. Sophia floored the accelerator. The van shot forward, crashing through the chain-link fence. Elena looked through the rear window. The SUVs were following. They know where we are going, James said. Victor has tracking on all his vehicles. Then we do not go where they expect. Elena grabbed her phone. Change of plans. Head to the city. We are going public. Public. Sophia glanced at her in the mirror. What do you mean? Elena made a call. A familiar voice answered. Patricia, Elena said. How fast can you get federal marshals to Ashford Industries headquarters? A pause. Why? Because in 30 minutes, I am going to walk into Victor Ashford's building with evidence of 847 murders. Elena's voice was steel. And I want cameras. I want reporters. I want the whole world watching when that monster is finally brought to justice. Patricia was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke. I will have a team there in 20 minutes. Good. Elena hung up and looked at James and Sophia. This ends tonight. James managed a weak smile. You are insane. Probably. Elena watched the city lights approaching through the windshield. But Victor made me this way, and now he is going to see exactly what he created. The van screeched to a halt outside Ashford Industries headquarters. Elena jumped out before Sophia could even cut the engine. Elena, wait. James grabbed her arm. His face was still swollen from the beating. We need a plan. The plan is simple. Elena pulled away. I walk in there. I confront Victor. And I make sure the whole world sees what kind of monster he really is. He will have security. Sophia came around the van. Armed guards, lawyers. He will try to stop you before you get to the elevator. Elena pulled out her phone. She hit record on a live stream. Not if 1 million people are watching. She held the phone in front of her face. My name is Elena Hartwell. 6 weeks ago, I was the CFO of Ashford Industries. Victor Ashford framed me for crimes I did not commit because I discovered he was responsible for the deaths of 847 people. Tonight, I'm going to confront him, and you are all going to watch. She turned and walked toward the building. James and Sophia followed close behind. The lobby was nearly empty at this hour. A security guard looked up from his desk. His eyes went wide when he recognized Elena. Stop right there. He reached for his radio. You are not supposed to be here. Call Victor. Elena kept walking. Tell him Elena Hartwell is here. Tell him I have evidence. Tell him the FBI is on their way. The guard hesitated. His hand hovered over his weapon. You can shoot me. Elena stopped and faced him directly. But there are already 50,000 people watching this stream. By the time the police arrive, it will be 1 million. Do you really want to be the man who murdered an unarmed woman on live television? The guard's face went pale. He lowered his hand. I am just going to make a call. He picked up the phone with shaking fingers. Elena resumed walking. The elevator was 20 feet away, then 10, then 5. The doors opened. A wall of security guards stepped out. 6 men in black suits, all armed. Miss Hartwell. The lead guard's voice was calm. Mr. Ashford would like to speak with you privately. I bet he would. Elena held up her phone. But I am done having private conversations with Victor. Everything that happens tonight happens in public. I'm afraid I must insist. The guard reached for Elena. James stepped between them. Touch her, and I will make sure every news outlet in the country knows that Ashford Industries uses armed thugs to silence whistleblowers. James held up his own phone. I have contacts at every major network. One text and this building will be surrounded by cameras. The guard hesitated. He looked at his colleagues. They looked back at him with uncertainty. Let them through. A voice came from behind the guards. A familiar voice, the wall of security parted. Victor Ashford stepped forward. He looked older than Elena remembered, tired. The past 6 weeks had taken their toll. His hair was disheveled, his suit was wrinkled, but his eyes were still sharp, still dangerous. Elena. Victor spread his hands. You wanted to see me. Here I am. Elena felt her heart racing, but she kept her voice steady. Victor Ashford, I'm here to present evidence of your crimes. 847 people died because of cardioxin. You knew about the fatal side effects and you covered them up. That is a serious accusation. Victor's tone was almost amused. Do you have proof? Elena pulled a folder from her bag. Financial records showing bribes to FDA officials. Internal memos ordering the destruction of clinical trial data. Video footage of you personally directing the cover-up. Victor did not flinch. Fabricated. All of it. You are a disgruntled former employee with a vendetta. Then explain why the SEC just arrested your chief operations officer for fraud. Elena stepped closer. Explain why your wife is being investigated for embezzlement. Explain why your own daughter is giving interviews about the abuse she suffered at your hands. For the first time, something flickered in Victor's eyes. Anger. Fear. Both. Catherine is mentally unstable, Victor said. Everyone knows that. Catherine has documentation. Elena held up the diary. 30 years of your crimes, Victor. Every lie, every victim, every person you destroyed to protect your empire. Victor's mask slipped. His face twisted with rage. You think you can destroy me? Victor's voice rose. I built this company from nothing. I have more money than God. I have judges in my pocket, politicians who owe me favors. You are nothing. A nobody, a failed executive who could not keep her mouth shut. I was nothing. Elena agreed. You made sure of that. You took my career, my reputation, my home, my relationship. You left me with nothing. And yet here you are. Victor laughed bitterly, like a cockroach that refuses to die. Yes, Elena stepped even closer. Here I am. And here is what you do not understand, Victor. When you take everything from someone, you also take their fear. I am not afraid of you anymore. I am not afraid of your money or your power or your threats, because I have already lost everything. And that makes me the most dangerous person you have ever met. Silence fell over the lobby. The security guards shifted uncomfortably. James and Sophia watched with held breath. Victor stared at Elena. For a long moment, neither of them moved. Then Victor spoke. His voice was quiet now, almost gentle. What do you want, Elena? I want justice, Elena said. I want the families of those 847 people to know the truth. I want them to see you in handcuffs. I want them to watch you rot in prison for the rest of your miserable life. And if I refuse? Elena smiled. It was not a pleasant smile. You do not have a choice. She pulled out her phone and made a call. Patricia, we are ready. 30 seconds later, the front doors burst open. Federal marshals streamed into the lobby. Behind them came reporters, cameras, lights, the entire world pouring into Victor Ashford's fortress. Victor Ashford. Patricia Vance stepped forward with handcuffs. You are under arrest for fraud conspiracy and 847 counts of negligent homicide. Victor did not move. His eyes were locked on Elena. This is not over, Victor said as the marshals approached him. You think you have won, but you have no idea what you have started. It is over, Victor. Elena watched as they put the handcuffs on his wrists. You just do not know it yet. The marshals led Victor toward the door. Reporters shouted questions. Cameras flashed. The scene was chaos. But Elena stood perfectly still in the center of it all, watching, waiting. Victor turned back one last time. Their eyes met. I will destroy you, Victor said. Even from prison. I will find a way. You can try. Elena's voice was ice cold. But you have already failed. Because the truth is out. And the truth cannot be silenced. Victor was dragged through the doors. The shouting faded. The cameras followed him out. Elena stood alone in the empty lobby. James appeared at her side. You did it. We did it. Elena corrected. All of us. Sophia joined them. Her eyes were wet with tears. I never thought I would see this day. I never thought anyone could take him down. He took himself down. Elena looked at the doors where Victor had disappeared. The moment he decided to hurt innocent people, his fate was sealed. It just took time for justice to catch up. Patricia approached them. Elena, I need you to come with me. We have a lot of paperwork to process, and the FBI wants to debrief you. Elena nodded. She turned to James and Sophia. Thank you, Elena said. Both of you. I could not have done this without you. What happens now? James asked. Now we make sure Victor never hurts anyone again. Elena squared her shoulders. And then we find the others. Others, the other Victors. Elena's eyes were hard. The other corporations covering up crimes. The other executives who think they are above the law. This is not the end, James. This is the beginning. She walked toward the doors. Behind her, the evidence of Victor's crimes was being cataloged and processed. Ahead of her, the cameras were waiting. Elena Hartwell had been destroyed. She had been framed. She had been threatened. She had lost everything, but she had survived. And now she was going to make sure the whole world knew the truth. The doors opened. Reporters swarmed around her. Ms. Hartwell. How does it feel to see Victor Ashford arrested, Elena? Can you tell us about the evidence you gathered? What message do you have for the families of the victims? Elena paused. She looked directly into the cameras. My message is simple, Elena said. No one is above the law. No amount of money can silence the truth. And if you hurt innocent people, justice will find you. It might take time. It might take sacrifice. But it will find you. She pushed through the crowd and climbed into Patricia's car. The door closed, shutting out the noise and the chaos. Patricia looked at her. You know this is going to be a long fight. Victor has the best lawyers money can buy. He is going to challenge every piece of evidence. Let him. Elena leaned back against the seat. I have 3 years of documentation. I have witnesses. I have his own daughter ready to testify. Victor can fight all he wants. He is going to lose. The car pulled away from Ashford Industries. Elena watched the building shrink in the rearview mirror. 6 weeks ago, that building had been her prison. Victor had used it to trap her, to control her, to destroy her. Now it was just a building, and Victor was just a man in handcuffs. Elena closed her eyes. For the first time in weeks, she felt something like peace. Her phone buzzed. She looked at the screen. Unknown number. She answered. Hello, Ms. Hartwell. A woman's voice. Unfamiliar. My name is Margaret Chen. My husband died in the cardioxin trial. Elena sat up straight. Mrs. Chen, I am so sorry for your loss. I watched you on the news. Margaret's voice cracked. I watched you confront that monster. I have been waiting 3 years for someone to tell the truth about what happened to my husband. The truth is out now, Elena said gently. Victor is going to pay for what he did. Thank you. Margaret was crying now. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for fighting for us. Elena felt tears burning in her own eyes. I promise you, Mrs. Chen, I will not stop until every single victim gets justice. She hung up. Her hands were shaking. Patricia glanced at her. The families are going to start calling. Hundreds of them. They have been waiting a long time for answers. Then we give them answers. Elena wiped her eyes. We give them justice. We give them closure. The car arrived at the federal building. Elena spent the next 6 hours in a conference room giving her statement to a team of FBI agents. She told them everything. The audit that started it all. The documents she found. The frame-up. The threats. The kidnapping. Everything. By the time she finished, the sun was coming up. An agent named Collins walked her to the elevator. Ms. Hartwell. I have been with the Bureau for 20 years. I have never seen a case this well documented. Victor Ashford is going away for a very long time. What about Diana? Collins smiled grimly. Mrs. Ashford was arrested 2 hours ago. The charity fraud charges alone could put her away for 10 years. And Marcus Webb already cooperating. Collins pressed the elevator button. Once he realized the ship was sinking, he could not talk fast enough. He is giving us names, dates, everything we need to build cases against Victor's entire network. The elevator doors opened. Elena stepped inside. Collins held the door. Ms. Hartwell, one more thing. Yes, Collins met her eyes. What you did took incredible courage. Most people would have run, most people would have given up. But you fought back, and because of you, 847 families are finally going to get justice. Elena nodded. She did not trust herself to speak. The doors closed. The elevator descended. Elena leaned against the wall and let herself feel it. The exhaustion, the relief, the grief for everything she had lost, the hope for everything that was still possible. She had won. Victor was in custody. Diana was arrested. The truth was out. But it did not feel like victory. It felt like survival, like crawling out of a burning building and realizing you were still alive. The elevator reached the lobby. The doors opened. James was waiting for her. He looked as exhausted as she felt. How did it go? Victor is finished. Elena walked toward the exit. Diana, too. Marcus is cooperating. James fell into step beside her. So what happens now? Elena pushed open the doors. The morning sun hit her face. It felt warm, real. Now I rebuild my life, Elena said. And then I start looking for the next fight. You are not going to rest. Elena laughed softly. James. There are corporations all over this country doing exactly what Victor did. Cutting corners, covering up crimes, hurting innocent people. Someone has to stop them. And that someone is you. Elena turned to face him. When Victor destroyed me, he created something he did not expect. He created someone who knows exactly how these criminals operate. Someone who knows their weaknesses. Someone who has nothing left to fear. So, you are going to become what some kind of corporate vigilante? I prefer the term advocate. Elena smiled. I am going to advocate for the people who cannot fight for themselves. James studied her for a long moment. Then he held out his hand. Count me in, James said. Elena shook his hand. You sure it is going to be dangerous? I have been investigating corporate criminals for 10 years. James grinned. This is literally my dream job. Sophia joined them on the steps. What are you two plotting? World domination, James said. Or at least corporate accountability. Sophia laughed. It was the first time Elena had heard her laugh. It sounded like freedom. I want in, Sophia said. After everything we have been through, I am not going back to waiting tables. Elena looked at her small team. A journalist, a whistleblower, and a woman who had lost everything and come back stronger. It was not much, but it was enough. All right, Elena nodded. Let us get to work. Her phone rang. She looked at the screen. Patricia Vance, Elena answered. Patricia. What is it Victor is asking to see you? Patricia's voice was careful. He says he has information you need to hear. Elena's jaw tightened. What kind of information he would not say? Patricia paused. Elena? You do not have to do this. He is in custody. He cannot hurt you anymore? Elena thought about it. Victor had every reason to lie, every reason to manipulate, but she had also seen the fear in his eyes, the desperation. I will do it, Elena said. Where is he? Federal Detention Center downtown. Patricia gave her the address. Elena, be careful. Even in custody, Victor Ashford is dangerous. I know. Elena hung up. James and Sophia looked at her. Victor wants to talk. Elena pocketed her phone. You are not actually going. James looked alarmed. I have to. Elena started walking toward the street. He says he has information. If there is even a chance it is real, I need to hear it. It is a trap. Sophia grabbed her arm. He is trying to manipulate you. He already tried that. Elena pulled away gently. It did not work. Whatever game Victor is playing, I can handle it. Then we are coming with you, James said. No. Elena flagged down a taxi. This is something I have to do alone. Victor will not talk if he thinks there are witnesses. Elena, trust me. Elena opened the taxi door. I have faced Victor Ashford at his most powerful. I can certainly face him in a prison cell. She climbed into the taxi and gave the driver the address. As the car pulled away, she watched James and Sophia growing smaller in the rearview mirror. She was lying. She did not know if she could face Victor. The thought of seeing him again made her stomach churn, but she had to know what he wanted to tell her. She had to know if there were more secrets, more victims, more crimes waiting to be exposed. The detention center was a gray building surrounded by barbed wire. Elena went through security. They searched her bag, confiscated her phone, led her down a long hallway to a private meeting room. Victor was waiting inside. He was dressed in an orange jumpsuit. His hands were cuffed to a metal table. He looked diminished somehow, smaller than she remembered. Elena. Victor's voice was hoarse. You came. You said you had information. Elena sat down across from him. Talk. Victor studied her face. You look different. Stronger. Prison will do that to a person. Elena kept her expression neutral. Now talk or I leave. Victor leaned forward. There is something you do not know. Something that was not in any of the files Sophia kept. What cardioxin was not my idea. Victor's eyes were intense. I was following orders. Elena felt a chill run down her spine. What are you talking about? There is someone above me, Victor said. Someone who has been running operations like Project Nightshade for decades. I am just a cog in a much larger machine. You are lying. Elena shook her head. You are trying to deflect blame. I am trying to warn you. Victor's voice dropped. The person I work for is more powerful than you can imagine. More ruthless. More connected. If you think destroying me was hard, wait until you go after them. Who? Elena demanded. Give me a name. Victor hesitated. Then he leaned close enough that only she could hear. He whispered a name. Elena's blood went cold. She recognized it. Everyone in America would recognize it. That is impossible, Elena whispered back. Is it? Victor sat back. Think about it. Who has the resources to cover up a scandal this big? Who has connections in every government agency? Who benefits when corporations like mine get away with murder? Even if what you are saying is true. Why tell me? Because they are going to kill me. Victor's mask finally cracked. Fear poured through the cracks. I know too much. The moment I am convicted, I become a liability. They will make it look like suicide or a prison fight, something quiet, something that does not make headlines. Elena stared at him. Why should I believe you? You should not. Victor laughed bitterly. I have lied to you from the beginning. I destroyed your life. I threatened to kill you. There is no reason you should trust a word I say. Then. Why are you telling me this? Victor met her eyes. Because if I am going to die, I want to take them down with me. I want you to know the truth. And I want you to finish what you started. Elena sat in silence for a long moment. Her mind was racing. If Victor was telling the truth, everything she thought she knew was wrong. The conspiracy was not contained to Ashford Industries. It went higher. Much higher. If he was lying, this was just another manipulation. Another game. But either way, she had to know. I am going to need evidence, Elena said finally. I can give you that. Victor leaned forward eagerly. I have files. Hidden files that even Sophia did not know about. Recordings, documents, everything you need to bring them down. Where Victor told her the location. A safety deposit box in a bank in Switzerland. Why Switzerland? Because American banks can be subpoenaed, Victor said. I knew someday I might need leverage. Insurance against the people above me. That box is my insurance policy. How do I know this is not a trap? You do not, Victor shrugged. But ask yourself this, what do I have to gain by lying I am going to prison for the rest of my life? I have lost everything. My company, my wife, my daughter, my freedom. The only thing I have left is the satisfaction of knowing the people who used me will pay the same price. Elena studied his face, looking for the lie, looking for the manipulation. She could not find it, which either meant Victor was telling the truth or he was a better liar than she thought. I will look into it. Elena stood up. Elena, Victor called after her. Be careful. The people you are going after do not play games. They do not threaten. They just eliminate. Elena paused at the door. If what you are saying is true, they should have eliminated me weeks ago. They were not worried about you. Victor's voice was hollow. You were just one woman against a corporation. But now you have proven you can take down empires. Now they are paying attention. Good. Elena opened the door. Let them watch. Let them see what is coming. She walked out of the room. The door closed behind her. Her hands were shaking. Her mind was spinning. Victor could be lying. It could all be manipulation. But what if he was not? What if everything she had accomplished was just the first battle in a much larger war? Elena collected her belongings and walked out of the detention center. The sun was high now. The city hummed with activity. Normal people living normal lives, unaware of the corruption that surrounded them. Elena pulled out her phone. She dialed James. How did it go? James answered immediately. Victor gave me a name. Elena's voice was tight. Someone he claims is behind everything. Who Elena told him. Silence on the other end. Elena, that is... James trailed off. That changes everything. I know. Elena flagged down another taxi. I need you to start digging. Quietly. If Victor is right, we are dealing with something much bigger than Ashford Industries. And if he is wrong, then we expose another lie. Elena climbed into the taxi. Either way, we keep fighting. She hung up and stared out the window. Victor Ashford was in custody. His empire was destroyed. His victims would finally get justice. But the war was not over. It was just beginning. Elena thought about the name Victor had given her, the power behind it, the danger. She should be afraid. She should walk away. She should take her victory and disappear. But Elena Hartwell was done running. She had lost everything and survived. She had faced a monster and won. Now there was another monster waiting. Bigger, more dangerous, more powerful. Elena smiled grimly. Good. She was ready for a real challenge. Elena landed in Zurich 3 days later. James had wanted to come with her, but she refused. If Victor was right about the conspiracy, the fewer people involved, the better. The bank was on a quiet street in the old city. Elena walked through the doors with her heart pounding. She had forged documents identifying her as Victor's legal representative. It was risky. It was probably illegal. But she had no choice. A banker named Hans led her to the vault. He inserted his key. Elena inserted the one Victor had given her during their second meeting at the detention center. The box slid open. Elena looked inside and stopped breathing. Folders. Dozens of them. Each one labeled with a name she recognized. Senators, CEOs, media executives. And at the very top, the name Victor had whispered. Senator William Cross, the man everyone expected to be the next president of the United States. Elena opened the first folder. Her hands trembled as she read. It was worse than she imagined. Cross was not just connected to Project Nightshade. He had designed it. He had created a network of corporations that experimented on vulnerable people. He had built a system that prioritized profit over human life. And he had done it all while smiling for cameras and promising to protect American families. Elena photographed every document. She worked for 2 hours, barely stopping to breathe. By the time she finished, she had evidence of crimes spanning 3 decades. She flew back to New York that night. James met her at the airport. His face was pale. Elena, we have a problem. What happened, Victor is dead. James grabbed her arm and pulled her toward the exit. They found him in his cell this morning. Official cause of death is suicide. Elena felt the blood drain from her face. He warned me this would happen. There is more. James lowered his voice. 2 hours after Victor died, someone broke into Sophia's apartment. She got away, but barely. Where is she now? Safe house upstate? James opened the car door for her. But Elena, they are coming for all of us. Whoever Cross has working for him, they are cleaning house. Elena climbed into the car. Then we move faster. What did you find in Zurich everything? Elena pulled out her phone and showed him the photographs. Cross has been running operations like Nightshade for 30 years. Pharmaceutical companies, defense contractors, private prisons, all of them connected. All of them funneling money and power to the same network. James scrolled through the images. His face grew darker with every page. This is insane, James whispered. If this gets out, it will bring down half of Washington. That is the plan. Elena took her phone back. But we need to be smart. Cross has resources Victor could only dream of. He has the FBI, the CIA, the media. We cannot just dump this information and hope for the best. So what do we do? Elena thought about it. The danger was enormous. Cross would not hesitate to eliminate anyone who threatened him. But he also had a weakness. The same weakness all powerful men had. Arrogance. We go public in a way he cannot control, Elena said. We release everything at once, to every news outlet, every social media platform, every country in the world. We make it impossible to suppress. That will take time to organize. Then we work fast. Elena looked out the window. Victor gave his life to give us this information. I'm not going to let it go to waste. They drove to the safe house in silence. Sophia was waiting inside with Catherine. Both women looked terrified. Elena. Sophia rushed to embrace her. I thought they got you. I am fine. Elena hugged her back. But we need to move. Cross knows we have the evidence. He is going to throw everything he has at us. Who is Cross? Catherine asked. I heard James mention the name, but I do not understand. Elena took a deep breath. Senator William Cross, the man behind your father, the man who has been pulling strings for 30 years. Catherine's face went white. Cross. He was at our house all the time when I was growing up. He was like family. He was your father's handler. Elena pulled out her phone and showed Catherine the evidence. Cross recruited Victor years ago. He provided funding, protection. And when Victor became a liability, he had him killed. Catherine stared at the photographs. Tears streamed down her face. My father was a monster, Catherine whispered. But he was also a puppet. Everyone is someone's puppet. Elena put her hand on Catherine's shoulder. The question is whether we have the courage to cut the strings. Catherine wiped her eyes. What do you need me to do? I need you to testify, Elena said. Not just about your father, about Cross, about every conversation you overheard, every meeting you witnessed, everything. Catherine hesitated. Cross will destroy me. Cross is going to try to destroy all of us. Elena met her eyes. The only way we survive is by making sure the truth gets out before he can stop it. Catherine was quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded. Okay, Catherine said. I will do it. For my father's victims, for everyone Cross has hurt. Thank you. Elena turned to the group. We have 48 hours, maybe less. I need everyone focused. James, start reaching out to your contacts. Every journalist you trust. Every whistleblower platform. We need distribution networks that cannot be shut down. On it. James pulled out his laptop. Sophia. I need you to organize the evidence. Create packets for different outlets. Financial records for the business press. Medical data for health reporters. Political connections for Washington journalists. I can do that. Sophia started sorting through Elena's photographs. Catherine. I need you to record your testimony. Everything you remember about Cross. Names, dates, locations. We will release it alongside the documents. Where do I start at the beginning? Elena handed her a voice recorder. Start with the first time you met William Cross and do not stop until you have told us everything. Catherine took the recorder with shaking hands. Then she began to speak. They worked through the night. By morning, they had organized 3 decades of evidence into a comprehensive package. James had lined up distribution through 17 different outlets in 9 countries. Sophia had created redundant backups on servers around the world. But Cross was not idle. James burst into the room just after sunrise. His face was ashen. We have a problem. He turned on the television. The screen showed a breaking news alert. FBI announces investigation into Elena Hartwell for theft of classified documents. Elena watched herself on screen. An old photograph from her Ashford days. The anchor's voice described her as a disgraced executive with a vendetta against American institutions. Cross is framing you, Sophia said, just like Victor did. It is worse than that. James pointed at the screen. Look at who is making the announcement. The camera cut to a press conference. A man in a suit stood at a podium bearing the FBI seal. Deputy Director Thomas Mercer, James said. He is one of Cross's people. This is a coordinated attack. Elena watched Mercer describe her as a threat to national security. He claimed she had stolen sensitive documents from a Swiss bank. He urged anyone with information about her whereabouts to contact authorities immediately. They are trying to discredit us before we can release the evidence, Elena said. If they arrest me, they can claim everything we have is tainted. So what do we do? Sophia asked. Elena made a decision. We accelerate the timeline. Release everything now. Now James looked at her. We are not ready. Half our distribution channels are not set up yet. Then we use what we have. Elena grabbed her phone. Cross wants to make me the story. Fine. I will give him a story he cannot control. She dialed a number. A woman answered. Patricia, it is Elena. I need your help. Elena, the FBI just issued a warrant for your arrest. Patricia's voice was tight. Where are you? That does not matter. Listen to me. Senator William Cross is behind everything. Ashford Industries, Project Nightshade, Victor's death. I have evidence, decades of it. Silence. Then Patricia spoke carefully. Elena, do you understand what you are saying? William Cross is one of the most powerful men in the country. That is why he has been able to get away with murder for 30 years. Elena gripped the phone tighter. Patricia, I trusted you before and you came through. I need you to trust me now. What do you want me to do? I am going to send you everything, Elena said. Documents, recordings, witness testimony. I need you to get it to the Attorney General. The real Attorney General. Someone Cross has not corrupted. Elena, if you are wrong about this, I am not wrong. Elena looked at her team. Victor gave his life to expose Cross. I am not going to let that sacrifice be meaningless. Patricia was quiet for a long moment. Then she sighed. Send me everything, Patricia said. I will make sure it gets to the right people. Thank you. Elena hung up and turned to James. Start the release. Every outlet, every platform. Now. James hit a button on his laptop. It is done. In 60 seconds, the evidence will be live on 17 websites across 9 countries. Elena watched the countdown on his screen. 50 seconds, 40, 30. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. Ms. Hartwell. A smooth voice. Calm, confident. William Cross. Elena felt ice in her veins. Senator Cross, I was wondering when you would call. You have been busy. Cross sounded almost amused. Stealing documents, making accusations, causing quite a bit of trouble. I learned from the best. Elena watched the countdown. 20 seconds. I'm calling to offer you a deal. Cross said. Walk away now. Destroy everything you have. Disappear. Do that and I will call off the investigation. You can live a quiet life somewhere far away. 10 seconds. That is a generous offer, Elena said. But I have a counter-proposal. 5 seconds, which is 0. Elena smiled. Check the news. She heard Cross's sharp intake of breath. Then silence. What have you done? Cross's voice had changed. The smooth confidence was gone, replaced by something raw and dangerous. I released everything, Elena said. Every document, every recording, every piece of evidence connecting you to 30 years of crimes. It is on 17 websites in 9 countries. You cannot suppress it. You cannot spin it. The truth is out. You stupid woman. Cross was shouting now. Do you have any idea what you have done? The chaos this will cause, I have ended your reign. Elena kept her voice steady. You killed Victor to protect yourself. You threatened my friends. You tried to frame me for crimes I did not commit. But you underestimated me, Senator, just like Victor did. This is not over. Cross's voice dropped to a whisper. I will find you. I will destroy everyone you love. I will make you regret. No? Elena cut him off. You are the one who will have regrets. Because right now, federal marshals are reviewing the evidence I sent to Patricia Vance. And in about 30 minutes, they are going to knock on your door with a warrant for your arrest. You cannot touch me. Cross laughed bitterly. I have too many friends, too much protection. You had protection, Elena corrected, past tense. Check your phone, Senator. I think you will find that your friends are suddenly very busy distancing themselves from you. Silence. Elena imagined Cross checking his messages, reading the panicked texts from allies abandoning him. This is not over, Cross repeated, but his voice was hollow now. Defeated. Yes, it is, Elena said. Goodbye, Senator. She hung up. The room was silent. James, Sophia, and Catherine stared at her with something like awe. Is it really over? Sophia asked. Elena looked at the television. The news had switched to a new breaking alert. Evidence of vast conspiracy released online. Senator William Cross implicated. It is over for Cross, Elena said. But there are others. People he worked with, networks he built. We exposed the head of the snake, but the body is still out there. So what do we do? James asked. Elena walked to the window. The sun was rising over the city. A new day, a new beginning. We keep fighting, Elena said. We find the rest of them. We expose every lie. We hold every criminal accountable. That could take years, Sophia said. Then it takes years. Elena turned to face them. I spent 15 years climbing the corporate ladder thinking I was making a difference. I was blind. I did not see the corruption right in front of me. Now my eyes are open, and I am not going to close them again. Catherine stepped forward. I want to help. My father was part of this system. I feel responsible. You are not responsible for his crimes, Elena said gently, but you can be part of the solution. James closed his laptop. You know, Cross was right about one thing. This is going to cause chaos. Markets will crash. Politicians will resign. The whole system is going to be shaken. Good. Elena picked up her bag. The system needed to be shaken. It was rotten from the inside. Now it has a chance to heal. Her phone rang. Patricia Vance, Elena answered. Patricia, tell me good news. Federal marshals just arrested William Cross at his home. Patricia's voice was triumphant. The Attorney General is holding a press conference in an hour. She is going to announce the largest corruption investigation in American history. Elena felt tears burning in her eyes. Finally. There is more, Patricia continued. Based on the evidence you provided, we are opening investigations into 43 corporations, 17 government officials, and over 100 individuals connected to Cross's network. What about the victims? Elena asked. The families of everyone who died. A special task force is being formed, Patricia said. Victim compensation, criminal accountability, the whole thing. Elena, you did it. You actually did it. We did it, Elena corrected. All of us. Everyone who had the courage to tell the truth. She hung up and looked at her team. It is done, Elena said. Cross is arrested. The investigation is happening. The victims are going to get justice. Sophia burst into tears. James pumped his fist in the air. Catherine sank into a chair with relief flooding her face. But Elena did not celebrate. She walked outside and stood alone in the morning light. She thought about Victor in his prison cell knowing he was going to die. She thought about the 847 people who had trusted Ashford Industries and paid with their lives. She thought about her own destroyed life, her ruined career, her lost relationships, everything she had sacrificed. Was it worth it? She did not know. Maybe she never would. But she knew one thing. The truth was out. The criminals were being held accountable. And the system that had protected them for so long was finally crumbling. That was something. James appeared beside her. You okay? Elena nodded. Just thinking about what comes next. Elena looked at the city waking up around her. There is so much work to do, so many systems to fix, so many people still being hurt by corruption and greed. You cannot save everyone, Elena. No. Elena smiled slightly. But I can try. Her phone buzzed, a text from a number she did not recognize. The message was simple. Thank you. My husband was in the cardioxin trial. He died 3 years ago. Because of you, his death finally means something. Thank you for not giving up. Elena read the message 3 times, then she saved it. More messages started coming in. Dozens of them. Then hundreds, families of victims, whistleblowers who had been silenced, people who had lost hope and found it again. Elena read every single one. This is why we fight. Elena showed James her phone. This is why it matters. James read a few messages. His eyes glistened. What are you going to do now? He asked. Elena thought about the question. A month ago, she had been a broken woman with nothing left. Now she had evidence of the largest corruption conspiracy in American history. She had allies, resources, a platform. She could do anything. I am going to build something, Elena said. An organization, a network of journalists and investigators and whistleblowers. We are going to find corruption wherever it hides. We are going to expose it. And we are going to make sure the people responsible face justice. That sounds like a full-time job. More than full-time. Elena met his eyes. I'm going to need help. James smiled. You have got it. Sophia and Catherine joined them outside. What is the plan? Sophia asked. Elena looked at her small team. 3 people, no office, no funding, nothing but determination and the truth. It was enough. The plan is we change the world, Elena said, one corrupt bastard at a time. 6 months later, Elena stood at a podium in Washington, D.C. Behind her was a banner reading, Hartwell Foundation for Corporate Accountability. In the audience were journalists, politicians, and hundreds of people whose lives had been touched by the Ashford scandal. The families of the 847 victims sat in the front row. Elena looked at their faces. Some were crying. Some were smiling. All of them were finally at peace. 6 months ago, I was a broken woman, Elena began. Victor Ashford destroyed my career. He framed me for crimes I did not commit. He threatened my life. He wanted me to disappear. She paused. But I did not disappear. Elena continued. Instead, I fought back. With the help of incredible people like James Chen and Sophia Reyes and Catherine Ashford, I exposed a conspiracy that spanned 3 decades and claimed hundreds of lives. The audience was silent, riveted. Victor Ashford is dead. Senator William Cross is awaiting trial. Dozens of their co-conspirators are facing justice. And the 847 families who lost loved ones to cardioxin are finally getting the compensation and closure they deserve. Applause erupted. Elena waited for it to subside. But this is not the end, Elena said. It is the beginning. The Hartwell Foundation exists to ensure that what happened with Ashford Industries never happens again. We will investigate corporate wrongdoing. We will protect whistleblowers. We will hold the powerful accountable. She looked directly into the camera, directly at everyone watching. To anyone out there who has witnessed corruption and been afraid to speak, Elena said, you are not alone. We will protect you. We will amplify your voice. We will fight alongside you. She gripped the podium, and to anyone who thinks they can hurt innocent people and get away with it. Elena's voice hardened. We are coming for you. We will find you. We will expose you. And we will make sure you face justice. She stepped back from the microphone. The audience rose to their feet. The applause was deafening. Elena looked at James standing in the wings. He gave her a thumbs up. She looked at Sophia sitting in the second row with tears streaming down her face. She looked at Catherine, who had finally found peace after years of pain. And she looked at the families in the front row. The people who had lost everything because of greed and corruption. The people she had fought for. This was for them. This was always for them. After the event, Elena walked alone through the streets of Washington. The sun was setting. The city glowed with orange light. Her phone buzzed. An unknown number. She answered cautiously. Ms. Hartwell. A man's voice. Unfamiliar. I represent certain parties who are very unhappy with your recent activities. Elena kept walking. Let me guess. They want me to stop. They want you to understand that there are limits. The voice was cold. You have made powerful enemies, enemies who do not forgive. Elena stopped walking. She looked up at the Capitol building in the distance. Tell your client something for me, Elena said. Victor Ashford was powerful. Senator Cross was powerful. They both thought they were untouchable. They were wrong. Is that a threat? It is a promise, Elena resumed walking. Anyone who hurts innocent people will be exposed. Anyone who thinks they are above the law will be brought down. I do not care how powerful they are. I do not care how many resources they have. I will find them. I will expose them. And I will destroy them. Silence on the other end. You have been warned. The line went dead. Elena pocketed her phone. She thought about the threats, the danger, the years of fighting that lay ahead. And she smiled. Because Elena Hartwell was not afraid anymore. She had been destroyed. She had been framed. She had been threatened. She had lost everything. And she had survived. She had done more than survive. She had won. Now she was going to spend the rest of her life making sure that no one else had to suffer the way she had suffered. No one else had to lose everything to expose the truth. The war was not over. It would never be over. There would always be another Victor Ashford, another William Cross, another corrupt system protecting the powerful at the expense of the innocent. But Elena would be there, fighting, exposing, demanding justice because that was who she was now. That was who Victor Ashford had created when he tried to destroy her. Not a victim, not a survivor, a warrior. Elena walked into the sunset with her head held high and her eyes on the horizon. The tycoon who tried to destroy her had triggered her billion-dollar revenge, and she was just getting started.